Today on Vegan Freak Radio, fine omnivorous wines, voicemails galore, all this and more on podcast number 76 for July 10th, 2007.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Bob.
And Jenna.
And we're coming at you after a series of thunderstorms blew through the area, after we tried to record the show yesterday.
Yes, Mother Nature did not want us to record the show earlier.
Today, and yesterday we recorded the show, we're 45 minutes in, we're like, this sucks.
Yeah, just weren't feeling it.
We weren't getting our groove.
No, we weren't. But today we have caffeine. That usually helps. Caffeine's a good thing.
Indeed it does. I just found this thing on the floor. I was like, what is this?
Ew, what is that?
It's a piece of cardboard that Emmy has chewed up into a little ball.
It's gross.
It's really wet. It's
Ew.
squishy. I wish it made noise. I could put it in the microphone. You'll have to take my word for it. It's pretty disgusting.
Yes.
So anyway, we're back again for another week. Before we get started with the show, we both want to say thank you very, very much for the tremendous turnout that we've had to get those votes out at Podcast Alley. We are number 7 last time I checked.
Yes, we finally made it to the top 10.
Which is something we've never done before.
I know, we're staying in the top 10, so thank you so much for all your votes.
Our listeners are the best.
They are.
You deserve it. Go ahead, pat yourself on the back if you voted for us. If you didn't, well then don't. We appreciate it very much because I actually think that, when we get in the top 10 at Podcast Alley, people see that and they listen to the show. People who would normally be listening to the show. And our fine audio quality sucks them in. And our witty banter and our smugness, because people say we're smug. And what else?
Of course, we're high atop our,
elite fortress
of moral superiority, so that's good too.
Yeah, right. So being morally superior helps. And no, but we do on occasion when we get in the top at Podcast Alley, we get people listening to the show who wouldn't normally listen to it. And for some of them it sticks. We're not right for everybody, but we're right for some people. What is that?
Oh, it's my glasses clinking together. I have my beverage collection over here to the right.
I see. I have an empty glass over here, but not what I need. So anyway, thank you for that. We very much appreciate it. We're in the top 10, and that's important. It helps the show. It helps us, and it helps us. Hopefully, helps us get people go vegan. We've heard from people who have listened to the show there and never thought about veganism before, and have gone vegan because of us.
Yeah. So
shit, I just clicked a button.
Uh-oh, not good.
Okay. Oh, my wild gesticulation.
Yes. All right. So, should we get into the show?
Let's get right into the show.
Okay.
Because we got a lot to do today.
And when we were talking about fine omnivorous wines there at the top of the show, we certainly don't mean W-I-N-E.
Absolutely not.
We mean, of course, the other kind of wine.
You mean this guy?
That kind. The I'm so threatened by vegans wine.
I feel so bad for the poor omnivores out there.
Yeah, I mean, you too. We're
God.
So threatening, oh my God.
Life is so hard for them.
It is.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Anyway.
Can I just say something else?
What?
There are times when I'm in class and students start complaining in class, and in front of a class, in front of a big lecture hall, I will start going like that, and they stop because everybody starts laughing. But the test is too hard, and it needs too much. And I just go, and they stop.
Good.
Shame is very important.
Yes.
No, I don't usually shame people, but it's a joke. No one takes it seriously. But these people are whiny.
They are. And this particular wine was sent to us by Eileen in Iowa. And the article comes from something printed on the Iowa Farm Bureau website. So that should tell you something.
So it's not going to be a nice, impartial source of news, right?
Exactly.
Whenever I want to know about agriculture, I go to the Iowa Farm Bureau website.
Yeah, they're going to tell us the truth, and it's going to be partial. Yeah, impartial. Yes.
It's going to be
Of course
partial.
It's going to be partial. Anyway, and it's entitled Food for Thought in National Beef Month.
National Beef Month.
And apparently this was back in May, so we're a little behind the times, but that's okay.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. May is National Beef Month, and it's times like these that anti-meat eater headlines capture the nation's attention. Some of them tragic. And you can guess what's coming here.
Of course.
In Georgia, a couple was recently sentenced to life in prison for the 2004 starvation death of their 6-week-old boy, who was fed a diet largely consisting of soy milk and apple juice. And of course, we've talked about these in the last couple of shows, and, you know, soy milk and apple juice is not a vegan diet for anyone.
Now, okay, can I just say something? I was in IRC in our chat room the other day talking to Middle Class Joe and a few other people, and Middle Class Joe said, look, what we need on the show is a weekly omnivore report, you know, omnivore crimes report, the omnivore, the Omni murder report or something. And we can say, you know, this week omnivores killed X number of people, you know, omnivores commit 99.9% of murders. And, you know, it's like, there is like not a relationship here.
No, but of course, every time a vegan commits a crime, oh my God, it has to be mentioned.
Well, you know, actually, there could be a relationship between being an omnivore and murder, right? I mean, you know, you could argue that some people have, Will Tuttle, for example, has argued that the vibrational energies that you consume change, you know, you get all that negative energy in you, man. You know, it's like, it's going to harsh your mellow, Jenna.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, you know,
Well, at the very least, there's a link between people who directly harm animals and who commit other murders and shit like that.
That's a good point. I want to talk about that too. Can I tangent for a second?
Of course.
I had to take a long car trip a couple weeks ago to go to a funeral, and but I had 8 hours in the car by myself. So I listened to this book on tape, right? It's called The Iceman or something, Confessions of the Iceman. It's some mafia thing. It's really disgusting, actually. It's about a guy who is essentially a serial killer for the mafia. He goes around, and it's a true story about this guy who would go and you know, do hits, contract hits for the mafia. Why I was listening to this, I don't know. It was something I was able to find on the internet. So anyway, I was listening to that. But what I thought was interesting was it talks about how this guy developed into a serial killer. And the first thing is that, you know, his father beat the hell out of him for no reason, and his father had killed his brother. And so there was a lot of violence in his life. And he felt, you okay, Em? He felt really powerless about the violence in his life. So what he would do when he was young to kind of feel powerful would be to go out and kill animals. He would find dogs and cats and kill them in the most painful ways just to hear them die.
Ew.
And to hear them suffer.
That's twisted.
Yeah, but it was his way of having control and power. So I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that, you know, like people harming animals, you know, is something that we look at as really troubling. We look at people who are able to kill animals as like, yeah, that's not cool, right? And that's one of the things that'll end you in, you know, you can end up in, you know, a mental institution.
That's true.
For that kind of thing.
That's true. Unless you're a member of Congress.
Right, unless you're Bill Frist. Or, you know, or Karl Rove, of course. He's not a member of Congress, but Karl Rove is just evil. But I guess the point I'm getting at is that, you know, we consider this kind of harm of animals outside of the context of food consumption to be fucked up and twisted, you know, to have no purpose.
Right.
Yet the harming of animals for food consumption, that's fine.
Well, that's okay, because we need to eat animals, and God put them here for us to eat. Don't you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be against people's religion not to eat animals.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to the omniverse wines.
Okay. Okay, more about, we're talking about diet consisting of milk and apple juice. The couple said that they were simply adhering to the lifestyle of vegans. It begs the obvious question, what is veganism and what is their true purpose? That's a really bad sentence.
What is their true purpose?
Yeah.
Our true purpose is to eradicate animal suffering.
Some claim to live very healthy lives. You know, claim to live.
Claim.
Okay. And that Georgia tragedy aside, they say eschew meat. This is not the best well-written shit. Say they eschew meat for a variety of reasons, many of them because of their beliefs in animal rights. The animal rights movement is certainly capturing headlines. You've probably heard how the nation's largest livestock producer company, Smithfield Farms, is phasing out gestation stalls because animal rights advocates complained about the practice, saying pigs raised for food need more personal space. No, actually, not all animal rights advocates advocate for that.
That's true.
Because it's well first. Anyway, now a big veal producer corporation out of Pennsylvania is changing its practices because of animal activist pressure. I fear the activist movement includes folks who want to turn livestock into pets and take that pork chop off your plate for good.
That's right, we do.
Actually, not the livestock into pets part, but the other part.
But just let's think for a second. Livestock. Living stock. Like living capital.
Right.
I mean, could we have any more of an implication of slavery in a word than livestock?
Not at all.
Ridiculous shit.
Yes. Yeah. Doesn't it occur to people that, we bring these animals into existence to be killed for food? It's not like they're just sort of out there mating and they're there, and so, it's like people forget that there's that step that we breed these animals just so we can kill them and eat them.
Of course.
Anyway. So what I'm saying is that even if we stopped eating them for meat, we certainly wouldn't be raising them for pets.
That's right.
Okay. Is where I was going with that. Anyway, being raised on an Iowa Century farm by a livestock producer, I like pork chops and steak. Also, being a former journalist, I know the value of free speech. Surely there's room for folks to express their opinion in a way that lets me have my steak and eat it too.
Eat me.
There certainly is no shortage of animal activists willing to speak out. It's true. The Vegan Society claims 3 million members, with numbers increasing all the time. So
Good.
I have to ask, I know, what lifestyle changes would come from becoming vegan? Well, right off the bat, in addition to meat, I'd have to give up most of my makeup. Most of it contains glycerin, which is made from cows. I guess that'll save me a half hour getting ready for work. I'd also have to give up deodorant, perfume, mouthwash, and my favorite Neutrogena face cream.
It's so hard being an omnivore.
No, but it doesn't end there. Embracing veganism means giving up more. No wool. Vegans say sheep shearing is violent. No silk. Unkind to the worms who make it. No sugar. Animal products used in refinement of sugar. No shoe polish. Shimmery eyeshadow. The shimmer comes from ground fish scales. No antifreeze. No wonder most of the vegan websites I came across are based in California. No brake fluid, no ink, no felt tip pens, glue, or crayons. An unpleasant vision just popped into my head. Me wrestling crayons away from my 10-year-old as she cries about how boring her book report will look in black and white. But wait, there's more. No cortisone, anti-inflammatory pain reliever, comes from animal byproducts. No vitamin D deficiency drugs or heparin to dissolve clots, and no x-rays. The film has gelatin. Many vegans say they embrace the no-animal products lifestyle because it's kinder to animals, and they claim it's healthier. But adopting veganism isn't the same as being a vegetarian, where you can have milk and eggs and fish. Because apparently fish is a vegetable now.
Oh my god, that is totally not vegan.
Not at all. Medical websites list side effects, including a vitamin B12 deficiency, which causes nausea, constipation, weight loss, and, wait for it, flatulence. Actually, that's not right.
I wish I had a fart noise in here. How could I miss the fart?
Oh my god, we're a vegan podcast and we don't have a fart noise? What the hell's wrong with us?
Really, you get vegans together long enough, they're farting and talking about farting and talking about shit. Yeah. Wow, how many times a day do you shit?
Anyway. Oh well. In the end, it's all about choices and tolerance.
Tolerance.
I hope we all realize there's certainly room here in Iowa for vegans, part-time vegetarians, whatever that is, and yes, good old carnivores. They've made their choices and I've made mine. So while I won't wear fur, I will still harbor an intense desire for Chanel perfume, a size 8 pair of Manolos I can afford, and the petite filet at Gino's. In fact, make mine medium rare. After all, it is National Beef Month.
I have something to say.
Shut up!
That's awesome. That's from WMGH on the forums.
That's awesome.
Isn't that the best? Listen.
Shut up!
Excellent.
Yeah.
There's so many things wrong with this article.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like, where do you begin?
Mm-hmm.
There is so much idiocy.
I know.
It is difficult to there's so much of it. There is a veritable wealth and abundance, a surplus of idiocy in this article.
Yes. Where do we start? Well, Well, it's interesting, though, because the whole way that they frame the question of veganism,
Yeah.
is that they're making it sound like they're emphasizing the giving up part
Right.
to start. And they make it sound like it's all this sacrifice. And then they make it sound like there are no alternatives.
Of course.
Like you can't have these things.
Not at all,
You have
ever.
to give them up. And
Completely.
It's going to ruin your life.
Say, Jenna, do you use deodorant?
Yeah.
Do you put on makeup on occasion?
Yeah.
How about mouthwash?
I rinse my mouth with mouthwash.
Toothpaste?
Yep.
Do any of those things do you use? Do they have animal products in them?
None of them.
None of them do.
No.
Curious.
Indeed.
Curious.
In fact, they even have glycerin, too. And you know what? Glycerin also comes from plants.
I didn't know that. Really? I mean, that's the thing is that the problem with the whole argument she has is that, it's like even if we were to suddenly abolish animal agriculture tomorrow, we would not have all the byproducts of slaughter that are in all those things, and we would be able to find alternatives.
We would.
It's just that right now, billions of animals a year, like Carl Sagan used to say, billions and billions. Billions of animals a year are killed in the United States alone for meat and for other things, and we have all of those byproducts that come out of the slaughterhouses, and they're sold dirt cheap to help subsidize slaughterhouse production. Mm-hmm. So, of course, when you're sourcing a product, if you can get a really cheaply sourced animal product, or you can get a somewhat more expensive or marginally more expensive vegetable product, what are you going to do? You're going to buy the cheapest thing.
Right. And of course, the people who produce these really cheap animal products are going to push them on the market because they need to get every last cent that they possibly can out of every animal that they raise.
Absolutely. Because it's all about the money.
Profit.
Stop 3, profit. Anyway. Stop 2?
We should give a prize for people who can tell us what step 1 is.
That's too easy.
It is too easy. Okay.
If we're going to give a prize, we should give a prize for identifying the music I was playing in the background.
Whoa.
This one. This would be a much harder
Actually, we
prize.
probably have some listeners who could.
Off the top of my head, I was thinking Adagio.
Would know.
Should we give someone a prize for identifying this piece of music?
If they, sure, why not? We'll send you something.
Okay, first person that writes to us identifying the piece of music in the background underneath the omnivorous wine. We need a title track, perhaps. Yeah, just a title track, just the title of the song. How's that? Would you like to hear a little more so you can maybe make sure? It's
very sad.
God, is it ever?
It's heavy.
I know. Holy shit.
Your computer's went very bright green.
Everything in in here just went green. I was like, what is that?
Your screensavers are really trippy.
They are, aren't they? Okay, enough of that shit.
Okay.
So, if you know, email us and we'll send you something cool.
Right.
So, anyway.
But anyway, back to this ridiculous article. So, and they make it sound, of course, like deprivation. We talk about that in our book, about how people always think it's deprivation because they emphasize giving up things, when in fact, most vegans would tell you that they're really, their lives are expanded. They gain things, they gain perspective, they gain new foods that they never would have eaten before. They gain variety in their diet.
I'm tired of this bullshit, too, about, you can never be a vegan, you can only eat vegetables, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm tired of it because how many different kinds of meat are there? I don't know. Chicken, beef, fish. Speaking of fish, vegetarian and
eating
fish.
Yeah.
Even George Bush knows this.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
We can coexist peacefully. There's another George Bush quote. Can I just play this before you listen? This is the best.
You're working hard to put food on your family.
That's classic.
Working hard to put food in your family. I can't do a George Bush, but that's just so classic. That's almost as good as.
In a few moments, you can come up and pet the turkey if you want to.
Oops, I just made the.
It's okay. Don't
red
worry
line
about it.
there.
No. First off, vegetarians do not eat fish. Fish is not a vegetable. It does not grow on trees or from the ground.
No, a fish has a nervous system, and plants do not have nervous systems.
Curious. Also, what was I talking about? I lost track.
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot.
Well, we were originally talking about deprivation.
Oh, right. How many different kinds of meat are there? There are only a
Right.
few. How many different kinds of vegetables are there?
Lots.
Hundreds upon hundreds. There are even like exotic weird vegetables that I don't know what the hell they are. I go to the Indian grocery and there are these things there and I don't know what they are. Like drumstick.
I don't know.
You know, someone just recently explained to me what that is. I had no clue what it was and no clue how to cook it
Yeah.
until recently.
Yeah. And just think of like even something like a mango. There are
Yeah.
like amazing number of varieties of mangoes.
This
None
is
of
true.
course which we can get up here, but if you live somewhere in like Florida or Australia, you
A
can
mango up here?
yeah,
You're lucky we can even get
get
them.
mangoes. Period. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, you think of any type of vegetable or fruit. There are a lot of different varieties. Apples.
Apples.
There are like
Now that we can get a lot of
That we can
variety.
get a lot of.
Apples we can get tons of varieties
So,
of.
yeah.
Because, you know. Yeah, but anyway.
Although people tell you, oh well, there's pork and ham, and bacon, that
And
come
ham
from-
and bacon.
come from a pig.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different cuts of meat, of course. But
know.
how many different... I mean, I'm not even going to...
I know. But yeah, so there's that, and
Yeah.
there's making them sound like this whole article makes them sound like they're victims.
They
And they're
are
not.
victims.
Oh yeah, they're victims of the poor vegans that were just so numerous and we're just threatening their whole way of life.
I mean, what is the worst thing a vegan's going to do to this woman? Write her a letter? I mean, come on. We're like the most ineffectual crowd anywhere. It's like, well, we're going to write a letter. Yeah. You know, come on. It's like, let's write a letter. I mean, that's like usually the extent of what we end up doing.
I mean, we're what? Literally like almost 2% of the population in the United
2%?
States. Almost. It's like 1.5.
You're including vegetarians in that.
No, there's vegetarians is like 3.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah. So
Let's
not
write her a
victims.
letter.
We're,
I'm being funny. I'm not.
But that's a typical strategy of people who aren't victims is to play the victim card, like
Of course.
like oh poor me, and then to call the call for tolerance when in fact they're not tolerant towards the other view.
Oh yeah, I know. But it's like it's like asking us to be tolerant of, you know, I don't know, child rape. You know, it's like a moral. It's something that we see as morally problematic. Drink as morally wrong. You know, and we look at it that way, and it's like, well, what do you want? Like, I don't understand the vegetarians. Like, I respect the way omnivores live. I respect them. I want everybody to be happy, and they respect the way they eat, and they respect the way I eat. And I'm like, you know what? I don't understand that. Like, I understand if it's someone in your family, okay? But, like, and I understand if you tolerate it
Right.
because you live with the person, but what is there to respect about something that you recognize as a moral wrong? Why would you respect that? I don't understand. So I view it as perhaps the fundamentalist intolerance I have is what scares her. People like me. I don't know.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I don't know. She wants there to be tolerant. She's trying to say like everybody should just get along, but it's like, how can you get along with someone with whom you have such a deep fundamental disagreement? That's what I want to know.
Right. Exactly. And just like I don't have a tolerance for homophobes or racists or sexist, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have a tolerance for people who kill animals for their food.
Well, you know, I don't believe that there's that between every argument there's a middle. You know, I don't believe there's a middle position between Hitler and the Jews, right? Like, I don't believe that. I mean, some liberals have this notion that if we all sit down and just talk about it, we can find common ground. You know, I don't think there's common ground between Hitler and the Jews, for example, right? I don't think there's common ground between, I don't know, me and someone who raises animals for money. Like, how can there be common ground? Because these two views are epistemologically fucking completely different. They cannot. They bump into each other. They're logically exclusive.
Right. That's because
I'm getting hot. What is
people
it?
fail to recognize that meat eating is an ideology.
Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is.
And if, for those of you who have been listening for a long time, you remember we talked about this way back when we interviewed a woman named Melanie Joy who actually
Oh, yeah.
wrote about this and coined the term carnism.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about carnism is that it kind of turns the picture around. You know, like we recognize veganism as an ideology. Right? We have our set of ideologies. We believe animals should not be exploited, used for entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. You know, all the vegans know what we're talking about, correct? Okay, so that's kind of our ideology, but we never assume that there's also an ideology involved in the other side, right? Omnivores, they just assume that what they do is natural. But that's what ideology does. It covers up, and it lets us take things for granted without really thinking, right? Ideology short circuits our thinking processes in some ways. So we tend to look at meat eating, we tend to look at it as quote unquote normal, right?
Right. It's like the neutral position.
It's like the neutral position.
Nothing but.
It's not neutral at all. And what ideology does, it's very good at covering itself up so that you don't notice it. So
right. So people sit down to dinner and eat their steak and don't think about it because
exactly.
they don't have to.
Exactly. So I think that that's the thing, is that we live in a society in which all this stuff is constructed such that we don't have to ever really contemplate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the dog trying to do?
He wants to leave.
He's an idiot because it's nice and cool in here.
It is.
It's really hot in the rest of the house.
It is.
Okay.
We play this game all the time.
Yes, we do. Well, looks like he might have given up.
He's going to lay down. We just need to give him some time.
Okay.
Anyway.
Dog ass.
Fucking dog ass right in my face. Anyway, it's a puppy poop shoot right there. Ram it. Yeah, ideology. So I had a better ideology lecture yesterday on the show, but that was the only good thing that we did yesterday.
Yeah.
So
but that was pretty good.
No, but I think to get back to the whole ideology thing, we need to start deconstructing what it means to be a meat eater. Mm-hmm. And to be a meat eater, there is an implication in eating meat, a political implication in eating meat, just as like there's a political implication in veganism, right? I think one of the reasons we have to talk about veganism and not call it vegetarianism is because veganism is like a statement about the way you live in the world. It is saying, I believe that killing animals for food or for other things is wrong, correct? Mm-hmm. Whereas, and that's a subtle implication that you have all the time as you're functioning as a vegan. You sit down to a dinner, even if you don't say anything and you aren't eating the animal products, people wonder why you're not. Mm-hmm. So it creates that little moment of cognitive dissonance that disrupts their ideology. Mm-hmm. The flip side of that ideology, for carnism, for people who are omnivores, there is an implication in that the dominance over animals is okay and acceptable. I don't buy that. And I think we need to start illustrating that to people. I mean, the implication, if you eat a cow, right, there's an implication in eating that cow that it was okay for you to kill it. So there is an implication about the domination of nature in that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Am I getting too nerdy?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to step away from that, though, because it's too fucking hardcore.
No, it's interesting.
Good.
Plus, I mean, it has implications, like you just said, when people sit down to dinner, and then even if you don't say anything and you're just not eating the meat, it's an implication in that you are not participating in that ideology. That's right. But again, underneath all the meat eating is also an ideology. This woman who wrote this article for the Iowa Farm Bureau, I mean, her implication underneath this is that it's okay to consume animals. So, of course, and that the world without it would be difficult. Oh no, are the dogs fighting? They're humping. Lucky them. Okay. So, anyway, moving on. Okay, we have one other article that we wanted to talk about today, and it's just a brief, food for rant about welfareism, as usual. This one comes from LM, and she found it in her local newspaper and wanted us to rant about it because it infuriated her. And it's called When Food Has Values. When Food Has Values. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. And it comes from the Sacramento News and Review, in case I didn't say that already. It starts off, for conscientious consumers who care about what they eat and where it came from, eating animal products can be something of a dilemma. A dilemma. Not for me. Not at all. Just don't eat them. That's the easy one, isn't it? Yep. Well, but Jenna, you can't say shit like that. No, of course. Tampering in dark-sided stuff! You'd be tampering in dark-sided stuff. Well, that goes back to the ideology. It's like, it's okay to eat meat. Okay, right. We might want to think about something, we can do it a little nicer. Yeah. But, it's like the baseline for them is we still have to eat meat. It never occurs to most people just not to eat meat, period. Right, exactly. And so that doesn't even come up in their dilemma. No, it doesn't. We need to make it come up. We do. More. Yes. Okay. Agreed. Anyway, to continue. While place of origin labels and the certified organic stamp make it easier to purchase generally organic, minimally processed produce, Voting for your food values with your wallet is often less easy when it comes to meat and dairy products. And there's another assumption, is that we have to just participate in this whole system of meat. Anyway. For instance, just because an egg carton claims the eggs are from free-range hens, that doesn't necessarily mean those hens are being fed the best food, or even that they're ranging very far for very long. And while the labels natural or organic on meat products may tell you that cattle haven't been filled with antibiotics and growth hormones, they don't necessarily ensure animals were particularly well treated during their lives, or that they were slaughtered as humanely as possible. Of course, all of this is true. Enter the certified humane raised and handled label.
Ooh, yeah.
Administered by Humane Farm Animal Care, a nonprofit organization based in Herndon, Virginia, the Certified Humane Labeling Program is the brainchild of Adele Douglas, a former director of the Washington, D.C. branch of the American Humane Association.
Happy meat.
Yep. HFAC's mission is to improve the welfare of farm animals by providing viable, credible, duly monitored standards for humane food production. And it issues a stamp of approval that assures the public that it is purchasing products that meet those very rigorous standards. HFAC requires producers, among other things, to allow animals to engage in their natural behaviors, raise animals with sufficient space, shelter, and gentle handling to limit stress, make sure they have ample fresh water and a healthy diet without added antibiotics or hormones.
So what's wrong with all that?
Well, the slaughterhouse is what's wrong with all that. The Certified Humane label appears on meats, eggs, milk, and other dairy products. Producers adhere to standards set by HFAC's scientific committee made up of leaders in the fields of animal science and veterinary medicine, among others. Perhaps the most widely known name on that committee is that of Temple Grandin.
That's what real women need.
A professor of animal science at Colorado State University and a leader in the field of food animal welfare.
And an extremely snappy dresser.
Yeah. So, anyway, it goes on to describe what people have to do to get insured about that. And it ends with, if you're ready to make the switch to humane animal products, the Certified Humane label is quite easy to find here in the Sacramento region. So, yeah. And as Ellen said in her email to us, it basically ends up being a humongous ad for this new labeling program. Right. Just ridiculous.
Here's the thing. I'm not opposed to making life better for animals. I mean, that's the thing, is that people often say, hey, you're putting your ideology ahead of animals. Whine. No, I'm not putting my ideology ahead of animals. I'm not opposed to animals living in better conditions. What bothers me, though, is that, the basic condition of exploitation is present. So animals are still being raised for profit. Mm-hmm. They're still the property of someone else. Mm-hmm. They're still being slaughtered. Mm-hmm. And by not challenging that very relationship of property, of them being a commodity and being commodified and being slaughtered, by not challenging that relationship, we allow it to continue.
Of course.
And when the animal rights people get on board with this shit, it allows it to keep going on and on and on. So all we're doing at this point is working with industry to provide them with better ways of niche marketing a product that we think is ultimately, intrinsically, morally wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of which, here's a good paragraph that I should read. Furthermore, the ultimate goal is to use the power of the marketplace to set the bar higher for the treatment of all food animals. Now, food animals, that's just a category that shouldn't exist.
I agree.
Bridges points out that it can take a very long time to create change by lobbying for new government policies. On the other hand, by working with farmers and ranchers to develop a consumer market for high-quality humane goods and by creating a certification process with real muscle, HFAC has created a sound business reason for producers to comply with its high standards.
So, go ahead.
Producers recognize that consumers care about how food is produced, whether it's out of concern for animal welfare, food safety and nutritional content, protection of the environment, or the future of smaller farms and local foods.
So what it comes down to is that it's better business.
Exactly.
I mean, that's really what it's boiling down to, is that it's better business. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I honestly believe that this industry, the animal exploitation industries themselves, particularly the food industry, as long as it can maintain the basic relationship of owning animals as property and as commodities, mm-hmm. it will continue to do whatever it has to do to maintain that relationship. It'll fight along the way, but ultimately it will make the changes it needs to make. And as long as it can commodify animals and hold them as property, that industry will continue to exist. Because that's the basic relationship that allows them to profit from having animals, right? Mm-hmm. What we need to do is challenge that very relationship itself. It is the core of what they're doing. Without the ability to make animals property, they can't profit from them. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of this activism fails to recognize that.
Indeed.
So I think the industry will... Look, the agricultural industry... I used to study the agricultural industry in graduate school. I wrote a fucking master's thesis on it. The industry has changed incredibly in the last 50, 60 years. Mm-hmm. It has changed in response to globalization. It's changed in response to farms getting larger, to mechanization, to new technology. It is an extremely resilient, extremely adaptable industry. Mm-hmm. It will continue to adapt to do whatever it has to do to function within the marketplace. And if in animal production, even if we make all of these things illegal, physically, like put it in, not physically, if it's in the law, mm-hmm. so it doesn't, it won't basically change the relationship that's taking place here.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that needs to change. The industry will adapt. It'll fight it, but it will adapt as long as it can. Mm-hmm. And as long as it can make animals property and commodities, it will continue to adapt to that because that's the ultimate relationship it needs to make money. Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to challenge the fundamental aspect of that relationship. Mm-hmm. Veganism challenges that by saying, no, it is not okay to abuse animals even lightly. It is not okay under any circumstances to make animals your property. Like, vegans understand that, and we take that to heart. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. That's why promoting veganism is so important.
I agree.
Do you hear that noise?
No.
It's me stepping down from the soapbox.
Oh.
The whole show is a soapbox.
True, it's our show.
This is true.
Bob and Jenna.
And that's the voice of Vegan Freak Radio. Actually, can we just play the Meat Makes You Stupid theme? Because there's so many... I want to play two things. This... Because I'm tired of this stuff.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
And you know what else I think it does? I think that this stuff also prevents consumers who would otherwise maybe give it up from giving it up.
Yep.
It strings them along. It's like their little... Well, I won't go
I can eat meat because it's happy meat.
Happy meat.
Yeah.
The animal didn't suffer at all.
My foot's going numb.
Uh-oh.
I was sitting on my foot. Okay, I want to play Meat Makes You Stupid theme.
Happy meat.
Okay, we got a bunch of voicemails and my jingos and stuff, so let's do it.
All right.
Time once again for some vegan freak voicemail. Maybe we'll hear from a hot chick
or a choice male.
Callers make us happy and help us keep our sanity, even if all they wanna do is fucking complain about the shit load of profanity.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. It's Drew here from South Africa, or Animal on the Forums. You said you wanted some people from all over the world to get in contact, so here we are, phoning from deepest, darkest Africa. I mentioned in an email I sent to you that I have the two of you to thank for my fiance making the step from vegetarian to vegan. So, that's a real great help to me personally, so thanks again. I want to say to any South Africans out there that are listening to the podcast, sign up to the forums and get in touch. A lot of people think it's really difficult being a vegan in South Africa, but it isn't. I've been a vegan for more than 18 years now. I really enjoy my food, and it's not that difficult. That there's a support structure in place now. Tons of really, really cool people. So make that step, get in touch. Finally, a not so shameless plug, because it's for the animals. We've recently started an animal rights group in South Africa called Animal Rights Africa, and we're looking for animal rights activists from South Africa, or the rest of the world that really want to help to get in touch. We're really fighting a huge battle here against a lot of corrupt industries and people coming from all over the world to the hunting capital of the world, as South Africa is known, to come and kill our animals. So if there's anyone that really wants to help, get in touch. The website address is animalrightsafrica.org. So please, we're looking for help. We want to network with other animal rights activists and animal rights groups. So get in touch. Thanks again, Bob and Jenna, for all the great work you're doing, and we'll see you on the forums. Cheers.
Well, thank you very much, Drew. It's excellent to hear from you, hear from South Africa, and I really want to applaud what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great that you're trying to get a group together and doing the things that you think need to be done.
Yes, and doing it at the local level where it can really make a great impact.
I think it's really good to work at the local level, actually, because, at the local level, you know what's going on at that level, and you can fight power very effectively locally. So I think it's really important for groups and for people to recognize that and to use it, to use their talents and skills and to start coming up with a genuine movement built of people rather than one built of large professional organizations whose directors drive BMWs. Let's move on.
Okay.
Hi, Bob and Jenna.
We're vegan, we're freaky.
My name's Greg.
And my name's Britt. I'm 11 and I've been a vegan for 8 years. And on Amazon.com, they've been showing books about animal cruelty, about cockfighting.
And dogfighting.
And dogfighting. And I don't like that.
And I don't like it either. And apparently on CNET News, the Amazon.com said that they don't care at all. Well, we thought we should tell you about it because it's really got us pretty
bad.
peeved. I know, we didn't swear, but my daughter's here.
Good.
Nice to talk to you, Bob and Jenna. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we have a second voicemail to follow up to that one.
Hello, Bob and Jenna. This is Rachel Norton. My husband's making me talk to you guys.
No one should have to talk to us under duress.
No.
It's not that bad, though. It's a great voicemail.
Yeah, they just talked to you a short while ago about Amazon.com and the animal fighting videos and magazines that are on there. Well, the Humane Society has pushed a lawsuit on them, and ever since they've done that, it seems that Amazon.com has increased their volume of animal fighting material instead of decreased it. You can go on the Humane Society website, hsus.org, I believe it is, and you can send a letter to Amazon telling them about your distaste for this subject, and then email HSUS and tell them that you send them that letter. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob and Jenna.
Bye.
Thank you so much. It's great to hear from you.
And its entire family. It's great.
Yeah, and congratulations. I mean, 11 years old, and you've been a vegan for 8 of those years.
That's great.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel bad knowing that anyone 11 years old, there's another 11-year-old that comes up later in the show. I feel bad knowing that anyone who's 11 and listening to our show. I mean, we're not 11 appropriate.
No. Well, understand that some of the things we say are sometimes words.
Sometimes
appropriate
words.
for certain situations.
Yeah, sometimes words. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, our curse words are like cookies. You know?
Don't say them in front of your teacher, for instance.
You definitely. Now, what kind of naughty aunt and uncle will we be unless we told them to say those things in front of their teachers? Like, go tell you. No, I'm kidding. So there you go. You can find more information about the Amazon stuff on the web, the interwebs.
The internets. More than one.
On the internets. I don't have the George Bush sound on the internets. Where did that go?
Oh, no. We have every other George Bush, isn't it?
I was rearranging yesterday to try to put things in some more order. Like I have all the different sitcom and clapping. I have those like together and the comedy drum fill. Anyway, let's move on.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is another Jenna, also known as Orphea on the forums.
Yay, Jennas.
I'm calling because I've had a really interesting experience recently. I'm currently in Sapporo, Japan, playing at a music festival, and all of our food is provided here for us. So I sit there at each meal watching all of these Omnis eating disgusting-looking, smelly, awful food, most of which is, of course, fish, being that I'm in Japan. I do have to say, however, they have been absolutely wonderful about providing vegetarian and vegan food. I am the only vegan in the program, and there are 2 other vegetarians, and of course they were shocked when I said I was vegan. But it's been really easy. Everything here has been completely vegan-friendly as far as the vegetables go. The only issue I did have was today I bit into a potato that had been caramelized in what I'm sure was honey, because I haven't tasted honey in so long that it just had such a distinct taste, I could tell. Anyway, I have to say that Japan is definitely very vegan friendly.
Are you sure it was honey? Because I've had those potatoes before, and it's usually like a brown rice syrup.
Huh.
May not be honey.
I don't know. If anybody knows.
Well, I guess there probably would be a recipe that would use honey instead of brown rice syrup.
True.
But anyway.
I don't know what I would do, however, if I had to explain at a restaurant. Luckily, I have a friend here who speaks Japanese and has been able to communicate for me on those occasions. Anyway, I just wanted to say I absolutely love your show, and any of you vegans out there scared of going to Japan, well, you should come because it's absolutely wonderful, and I really love it here. Thanks so much. Keep doing what you do. Bye.
Cool.
Excellent.
Glad you can make it work in Japan.
Actually, somebody sent us an email recently talking about the different kind of dashis, the broths, that some have fish and others that don't. And so maybe we should dig that out and read it.
Let's dig that out and read it at some point. We've got another voicemail that I think we can talk about these two together, I think. Kind of, sort of.
Hey, Bob and Jenna. This is Ed. Even though I'm a girl, my name is long and complicated, but just call me Ed. This is Ed.
How complicated could your name be? No, I don't know.
Oh.
Sending you a message from sunny Japan, and by sunny I mean it is pretty much monsoon weather, but I just recently found your podcast. As you know, I've been vegan and I'm kind of alone here. I'm here, doing what every other American in Japan is doing, teaching English. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm vegan, and I just wanted to, know there are other people out in the world, and so I'm catching up, and I know I'm probably so late, and this girl's probably got advice, and, others wanting to go abroad that are vegan. And if you're coming to Japan, don't worry. It is so easy here. Japan has some of the animal products, or have any animal products. While I've been here, though, I did have a bit of a run-in with some broth. They changed it out for me, and everybody here is really understanding, especially everybody here is pretty big into nature. So, yeah, it's not hard, because, they have, they don't eat a lot of beef or pork or chicken. Well, not as much as, you get in, a Japanese or Chinese food restaurant in America. They don't eat that much. Yeah, there is, a lot of fish, and you see a lot of dead fish at markets, and it's really gross, but still. There is a lot of really good stuff to eat. So, there's that. I'm not good with public speaking, I'm sorry, but, yeah. Sympathy vegan, that would be like, oh, well, it's theirs, and they can do about it, but, if I can do it, then everybody else can, so.
That's right.
If you're coming here on vacation, or coming here to live, it's easy because, I have had to import a lot of stuff, but it's not been bad.
So I had to cut it there. There was another voicemail from Ed as well that got weird. It was out of order. It was weird. Like the end of the voicemail at the beginning, it was really screwed up.
Weird.
So I don't know why that happened. I apologize, Ed. But two pretty good endorsements of Japan.
Yeah. I would have no idea because I've heard from a lot of people that they hide fish and things. Not like hide fish and things, but there just are fish in a lot of things. And I think the email I was thinking about was from Ed. So
well, there you go.
Maybe we should dig that out.
We should dig that out for sure for next week. So there you go. Two people who say you can do it in Japan. Probably if you learned a couple phrases, it'd be even easier.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Cool.
Nice.
Let's move on. This is from Pedro.
A new age is upon us, and man must soon relinquish his claim as ruler of the world.
Hello. Yeah, I was listening to your last podcast about Vinny and Olivia and their baby and stuff, and it's really good, vegan baby and everything. But I just wondered, yeah, if the baby needed, like, hypothetically speaking, say a cockroach's sphincter muscle as a replacement for a valve in a jugular artery or something, or a brain was going to explode, would they still be proud vegan parents? Oh, I just wondered.
That does come up to sound like one of the hypotheticals that these Omnis come up with.
It does, too. It's the kind of stuff you always hear, too. It's like, well, what if...
If you're on a desert island and it starts raining fried chicken, would you eat it? Kind of thing. Yeah.
It's like, no. You know?
Right.
How about we try a hypothetical with them? What if you were, I don't know, a delicacy to aliens? Would you want to be eaten?
Yeah.
So, thanks for that, Pedro. I'm assuming that's a joke, so I'm not even going to answer it.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Mike from Philadelphia. I love your show. There's a couple things I want to cover in this voicemail. Just listen to episode 74, and for the kid from Tennessee whose parents weren't cool with buying proclaimed vegan clothing, I think his name was Nathan, if you have any skate shops or Hot Topics or any sort of youth-marketed counterculture stores in your area, they should have plenty of vegan-friendly wares that are more stylish than like a canvas Chuck Taylor. And
good point.
It's pretty easy to find the labeling that says all man-made materials or all synthetic fibers, stuff like that. So I hope I could help on that regards. Second thing is, a while ago, one of your earlier episodes, you guys went to Philadelphia, and I think it was a Vietnamese hoagie that you guys had, or sandwich, that you loved. I want to know what it was and where I can get it, because I would like to try it. I eat all the unhealthy, ultra-fried, vegan, Chinese, greasy vegan sandwich shops, a lot of the stuff that I shouldn't eat, so I'm always looking for something new that's hopefully a little healthier. And the third thing I want to cover is shit, fuck, damn, piss, balls, ass, fuck, shit, balls. Yeah, I got them all.
Nice.
Excellent.
So, let's talk about a couple of these things in order. Hot Topic, etc. Fine, wherever you can get it. Good idea.
Good
skate
suggestion.
shops are always good because a lot of skate shoes are accidentally or purposefully vegan. So that's good. As for the hoagies, they're really good.
Damn it, I'm hungry too.
I'm really hungry.
Thinking about that.
For
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it's a hoagie. It's on just like a regular hoagie roll, but it's like this marinated fried tofu.
Yep.
And it's kind of makes it really soft though. And they put on some Vietnamese things. I'm trying to.
Okay, so you take. Listen, if you're not from Philadelphia or you haven't lived in Philadelphia, you don't know what this is. But a Philadelphia hoagie roll,
right.
Okay, there's something special. I don't know what it is. The French would call it terroir. Okay, I don't speak French, but whatever, right? There's something special about the shitty Philadelphia water. If you're from Philly. There's something special about the water. It makes these amorosos rolls, like the perfect rolls for hoagies and steaks, steak sandwiches, right?
Right.
You take one of these rolls, which is really good. For some reason, if you grew up in Philly and you've had you grew up eating hoagies or sandwiches there, and you try to eat one anywhere else, it doesn't taste right.
No, not at all.
It tastes like fucking ass. So they take one of these rolls, and on it they put deep fried tofu with Vietnamese, like a 5-spice and some other shit, right?
Yeah.
And then they put sliced jalapenos. And then they put cilantro.
And daikon and carrot.
Daikon and carrot, like on there. And then they put on that red spicy sriracha sauce.
Yeah.
And they put that shit into a fucking hoagie roll, and it is delicious.
Oh my god.
There's a picture of it on our site.
Yeah,
I'm going to look for it right now as we talk. But,
okay.
Anyway, the point is that there's a place in Philly that makes these, and they're really fucking good. It's at 48th and Lancaster. It's actually 810 South 47th Street. And it's in University City.
It's called
West
Phu
Philly.
Wah,
It's called Phu Wah. F-U-W-A. Phu Wah.
Yeah, it's an Asian grocery store.
It is. It's actually a little convenience store.
Yeah. Actually, they have other kind of vegan products too, like while you're waiting for your hoagie.
Yeah. It doesn't take long.
They have like the canned Asian glutens that are vegan and they're not particularly good for you, but
Yeah.
they've got that kind of thing. And
They've
some
got
refrigerated
a
items.
fake chicken there too.
Yeah.
gluten type chicken that's actually fairly decent.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go.
Anyway, that stuff's not necessarily good for you, but Fuwa is definitely worth a visit if you're in Philly. I recommend it very highly. Whenever we go, well, last one that we didn't.
No, we didn't have time.
Well, and also it's deep fried, so I try to avoid it.
And white bread.
But regardless, this is something that's worth blowing a diet for. It is.
It is.
It's really good. So 810 South 47, 215-729-2993. I just looked it up on Google.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's accurate. I'm assuming that Google is being accurate about this.
And you can order ahead of time. It sounds like we're getting paid to talk.
We're not getting paid. I just
they're that good.
I'm just really happy to actually have somebody that is making food that's vegan and that they're cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really cool. I'm going to look for this old episode where we have a picture of one of these Fuwa hoagies.
We also have a picture of a vegan treats cake.
God, that's from a year ago, and it's from like 18 months ago or something.
It's from probably January.
It's from last January.
Yeah, not this past January.
Right, the one before.
Look at this picture. My birthday cake on it.
Yes, indeed. Oh, my sweet lord. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so I don't know.
Oh, dude, we're never gonna find this.
No.
I'll tell you what. I'll put a link to it in the show notes. Wait. Let's see. Would that probably be January 2006, right?
That sounds right.
I'm looking.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. January 2006. January 1st, 2006. There's
Episode
a picture
number?
of a Fuwa. What?
Episode number?
We weren't even... Oh, number 22.
Wow.
Episode number 22, January 1st, 2006. I'll put a link to it in the show notes.
Okay.
How about that? All right, and now we can move on. But these Fuwa hoagies, man, they do rock the world.
They do.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next voicemail in the queue.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Ashley from Alberta, voicemailing you again. And I was just listening to, I think it's Vegan Freak Radio number 74, where Bob is talking about how unwell he feels, and then he stops himself saying that nobody wants to hear him bitch and moan the whole show. I just had an interesting thought. Isn't the entire show kind of you guys bitching? I'm just going to throw that out there and see what you guys think. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. Ciao.
Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah.
It is. It's usually tales of woe and sorrow and us complaining about
happy meat.
That's usually what it boils down to, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yep. And you can't forget our bad soundboard.
Yeah, that would. Well, we got that fixed, but now we're complaining about when we can't find the sounds.
Right, but I mean, you can't forget the bad sounds on the soundboard.
Right.
We've got so many of them. So many just stupid sounds.
We haven't complained yet on the show about how busy we are.
That's true. We are very busy. Actually, that reminds me. I want to just remind people that we will be doing shows, but we are having a difficult time finding a regular day to do them. So we're going to do them once a week or so, but it may be like 7 days or maybe 10 days. We're going to just do them as often as we can.
Yeah.
But the next month and a half is just like
we're fucked.
Yeah, I know. And some of this too. Don't you feel bad for me?
Woe is us.
Woe is me. Pounding. Don't you feel horrible? Yes. Isn't this the saddest fucking song? God, it's so sad. Anyway, moving on.
Hey you guys, this is Emily. I got your book a couple months ago and it's amazing, and then I just recently started listening to your podcast. And I'm not sure if you've talked about this before. You probably have. But I was wondering what you guys thought of freeganism, because my brother is a dumpster diver and is considering freeganism for himself. He's currently a vegan, as am I, and a lot of his friends are freegans. And I personally think it's kind of gross. Like, I wouldn't want to eat anything that came from an animal anyways. And I don't know, I dumpster dive, but I don't think I would eat food out of there. But I don't know, I want to have a conversation with him about it, because I don't know, like, I don't support it. And I wonder if you have any opinions for or against it.
Okay. interesting you mentioned freeganism. I was quoted in the New York Times a couple weeks ago about freeganism and kind of the context of the environmental movement that created it, or that, led to it. Here's what I think about freeganism. I think that it's a fine thing to do, provided that there's no consumption of animal products. There have been threads back and forth on the forums about this, trying to justify the consumption of animal products, because essentially it boils down to the fact that the animal is dead, therefore there is no... the stuff's in the trash, so you're not creating demand by consuming animal products from animal products that have been thrown away. However, I would argue that, from a ethical standpoint, or from maybe just a standpoint of appearances, perhaps, right? Of symbolism, I don't think that anyone who cares about the rights of animals should be seen eating or should eat animals, period. Right? Veganism is a symbolic protest as much as it is every other protest. I mean, I think that symbolically vegans have a very important role. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that role, if you're a vegan, should be refusing to consume animal products.
Yeah.
These are not food.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whether you paid for it or not. If you eat an animal product, you're still saying that it's okay to eat an animal product, and that you are reifying the position that animals are ours to eat and that they are food.
That's right.
And we don't see them as food.
And I always think of it like this way. Like, what if I were in a dumpster and I found a human arm, would I want to take that out and gnaw on it? No, I wouldn't. Why? Because I don't believe it's right to eat human flesh. Would I take a chicken leg out of a dumpster and gnaw on it? No, because I don't believe it's right to eat human flesh. Animal flesh. So this is kind of how I look at it. So I'm fine with veganism. I think veganism has some potential issues that it needs to deal with, like the fact that it's being done by hipsters all over the world who I think want just the cachet of diving in a dumpster to offend their bourgeois parents. I think that a significant number of people who are attracted to veganism have this idea that diving in dumpsters will save the world. I mean, it is to me a lot like the idea that just being vegan will save the world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just buying the right vegan things will help save the world. I don't agree with either position. So what I'm trying to say is that I think that the veganism in the right context with the right motives and ideas behind it it could be good. I just don't think that happens a lot in reality.
Right. And we've talked about this at length before.
We have indeed. So I don't want to go into too much more depth about it. Just go back for the show archives. I forget when.
Who knows?
And I think I said nastier things then than
Probably.
now. But ultimately, I think it's fine. Just don't eat fucking animal products.
Hey, Bob and Jenna. It's Emily again. I just wanted to tell you guys about my recent trip that I went on with my family to Michigan. I got your book a couple months ago, and I just finished it because I read like 20 books at a time. I don't know why.
I do that too.
I never finish any of them.
I finished them though.
But I did finish yours, and
actually, I don't finish all of them. Some of them I get. I just want to say briefly, I don't know why. It's my show. There are books sometimes I read are 500 pages long. I will get to 400 pages and be like, fuck this, I hate it, and put it down. Don't I do that?
Yes, you do.
I do. How self-defeating could it be? 100 more pages. Do I finish it? No.
It's definitely one of my favorite books. It's amazing. Anyways,
well, thank you.
While we were in Michigan, I was reading it, and I wanted my family to read it because...
Wait. You gave our book to your family to read? Like the one that talks about rubbers and sex toys and shit like that? Oh, aren't you a youngin', Emily? I think you're the same Emily I talked to in IRC. That means you're like 16 or something, right? Oh no. Okay.
My mom and my little brother were both vegetarians, and didn't really listen to me about veganism that much. Just kind of went in one ear and out the other. But I got them to start listening to your podcast, and
you got to play the one where we talk to vegetarians for them.
Yeah.
That'll either make them very angry at us or make them go vegan.
My mom, after listening, is a dedicated vegan, and I think she's vegan for all the right reasons, and I definitely think it's from your podcast. And my little brother, who's 11, is obsessed with your podcast after listening.
Now, 11. Oh, no.
Remember what we said about sometimes words.
For real. Oh, come on, man.
I
You could hear
know.
worse than this.
Oh,
on your
when you're
average
11?
cable.
Of course.
When I was 11, I was definitely, just for the shock value of fuck all the time. You know, it's like, I thought I was so cool.
Into it in the car. We played it on our way to Lake Superior, which was like 2-hour drive from where we were.
Are we family friendly? I don't know if we are.
We're corrupting the youth of America. Yay!
We're corrupting the youth.
And all 7 people in my car listened to it, including my omnivorous father, who has seen many animal cruelty videos, yet continues to eat meat. I don't understand
ideology
why, but whatever. So we also had your book up there, and my family was literally fighting over who got to read it next. My mom and I got in 2 major fights over who got to read your book.
Wow.
And it ended with her not talking to me for a long time. I was like, God damn it, I just want to finish the book.
Okay, we don't want family
No,
fallouts happening
man.
because of us. Jeez. Take it easy.
It's like, you want us to be vegan, we got to read this book. And, you know, I took it at night, and I finally finished it so she would stop fucking annoying me about it. So now my mom and my brother get to fight over who's reading it. But anyways, my entire family pretty much consistently listens to your podcast, and
Hi,
you've
Emily's
definitely
family.
been the biggest factor in my mom's veganism and my little brother Luke's veganism.
Hi, Luke. Hi, Mom.
I thank you for that, because they won't listen to me for some reason. Yeah, it's incredible. You guys, very convincing people. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.
Why, thank you, Emily. Emily has, in that voicemail, the secret to getting any voicemail played on this show. Flatter the hell out of us. No. But thank you very much. I'm glad that... What is that you're drawing on your paper there? It looks like a little handlebar mustache.
I know. It turned out I was just drawing squigglies, but it turned out to look like a handlebar mustache.
That looks very barbershop quartet-ish.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm glad Emily and Emily's family and Mom and Luke and everybody that you're enjoying the show.
Yeah. And actually, that's a dynamic we see a lot. Like, people tell us that, like, they themselves can't convince their family members to go vegan, but if they get outside information from someone else or from something else,
right,
that it often helps. I don't know why that is, but...
I think that's fairly normal, though. Like,
it is, yeah.
Because
yeah,
your parents are used to seeing you as a child, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, not just parents, but siblings and spouses and, you know, things like that.
True.
So.
Cool. Well, thanks, Emily and Emily's family. And we would like to have a My Chingo from Emily's family. Why not? Let's hear from Luke and Mom.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's hear from you guys. It'd be great fun.
Hey, Bob and Janet. It's me, Sarah. I'm actually really nervous about doing this. I'm going to mess up a lot. But
Don't be nervous. No one should be nervous calling our show. We're not nervous when we do the show, as you can tell. Because we make all kinds of dumb mistakes.
Uh-huh.
But don't be nervous. Whoops.
I have important stuff to talk about. So, I'm a new vegan and a new listener, but I've been vegetarian basically since the time that I found out that meat comes from animals, which is a long time ago.
Yay!
I've been wanting to send you guys a voicemail, like, for a really long time, but I couldn't think of anything to say. So, but now I have something. So, I just got in this, like, kind of sort of fight with my mom because she was talking about how, like, if you drink milk, you'll lose weight or something. And then...
It's the ads.
Yep.
It's like the Venus and Serena ads. Don't they have ads where they're drinking milk?
I don't know. The milk...
and that model
the
with the thing on her face?
Yeah, that's been a campaign of theirs for a while now, that promoting, because there's this one study that showed that milk helps you lose weight, but it was turned out it was because people weren't drinking soda or something. I don't know. Anyway, I think they've been told to stop.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Even
because
better.
It's not really true.
Cool.
I was like, that's not true. They just make those things up to make money, like the
There you go.
corporations and stuff. And that, like, the whole thing about, like, that milk is meant for baby cows, and
that's true.
The cows that produce the milk are constantly being impregnated and their babies taken away from them. And my mom was like, do they even think, like, she was like, do you even think they notice? And I, like, flipped out, and, like, and we got into this whole thing about, animals can't feel anything, but we can test stuff on them because they, like, will react the exact same way we do. Oh my god, what the fuck? I hate people. Ugh. I'm so frustrated, and I really don't have anyone to talk to about this. So I thought I'd give you guys a call, or whatever I'm doing right now.
My chingo.
There you go.
Well, thanks for listening to me talk about random stuff.
Here's what you need. This will make you feel a little better. That is so cathartic.
It is.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Well, I mean, you hear this stuff a lot. It's okay to hurt animals because they don't feel pain like we do, or they're not intelligent.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, so are you telling me that we must, well, what about, like, babies? You know, babies aren't rational.
Mm-mm.
They aren't intelligent.
Mm-mm.
Yet. They have no real intelligence. Should we hurt them? But babies are different. Well, why are they different? Because they're human. What's that mean? You see, this is the thing you get into with people.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we get back to this whole entire mental structure we carry around with us in our heads that justifies the domination that we have over animals. So you're always going to run into these brick walls with family and friends, where it's okay to hurt, it's okay to, whatever.
Of course, the other thing that usually comes up is the cuddlytarian who said, it's not okay to hurt cats and dogs.
Right.
But it's okay to, hurt all the other animals.
Of course. So why? I don't know. I mean, what makes a dog and a cat really, physiologically all that different from a cow or a pig?
Not much.
Not a whole lot, really. I mean, they both feel pain in the same way.
They're both mammals.
They're both mammals. I suspect that they're both capable of love and ties and kinships and all the things that, we know dogs and cats are capable of. So anyway, I mean, I understand your frustration, Sarah. It is very difficult to deal with that. But I mean, it's pretty clear that animals feel pain. And I think that, talking to your parents about it sometimes is like banging your head into a wall. I don't talk to my parents about it, but I understand like where you're coming from. Talking to some people about it is just really difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you, really. I can give you arguments, but with someone who is already like a lot of people are so into it that they won't even hear the arguments. I mean, I teach an animal rights class every so often. And in that class, I go through all of these arguments. Animals feel pain and it can be proven. Animals have the same sensory systems that we do, or similar enough that they can feel pain. I go through all of this. I will explain it. I will show them videos. We will read books that talk about it. We'll look at ethical theory. We'll look at science. We'll look at all these different things. And still at the end, you'll have students who go, I know all this is true, but I'm still going to lunch and having a hamburger. So at a certain point, it's like, how much time can you waste? You know what I mean? What do you think, Jenna?
Yeah, well, you have to know when to fight your battles because
That's
some
true.
people
got to pick and choose.
Will really understand it, or at least to plant the seed.
Yeah.
Because some people will come back to it later. Some people just might want to block you off, because there are a lot of psychological mechanisms that go along with this ideology.
That's true.
And that people need to put up this wall in order to be able to eat that hamburger.
That's right.
And they like that wall.
To numb themselves from the violence done in their name.
Exactly.
Because it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are scared about bringing down that wall. And so they will do everything in their power to not, bring that. Not do that, not make the connection.
That's right.
So people will be very resistant. And some people, I think it's always good, to, if you're able to, patiently talk about these kinds of things, because you might plant that seed and someone might go back to thinking about that later. You never know. And a lot of times the people who are the most resistant are the ones who actually care, and that they're the most resistant because they know it's wrong.
It took me, I'm going to be honest, right? It took me probably 10 years of thinking about this stuff. To really come around to the honest truth about it.
Yep.
And there was just this one day where I was like, I'm thinking honestly about this. I can't do it anymore. I can't be a hypocrite. So, but it took me a very long time.
Yeah.
And it takes some people a very long time.
Yeah. Some people are
dense.
Well, some people are lucky that they come to it a lot earlier.
That's
true. They just make that decision like, I'm going to do this.
Some people come to it very fast.
And that's good. But yeah.
Cool. So, next one.
Hi, yes. My name is Judy, and I am a vegan chef. I've for about 6 months experience with doing this for my company.
Cool.
And I have a question about beer. I've read that beer is made from charcoal. That's the bones from charcoal, or actually bones from animals. And I've been seeing a lot of recipes where they show beer or wine, alcohol, whatever, but like for a recipe, and I thought that's not vegan. So can you give me a response back and let me know? Thank you. Love your show.
Thanks, Judy. Okay, a couple of quick things. I think I've never heard of the animal bones and charcoal.
Maybe you're thinking of sugar?
Well, it could be sugar, but I was just thinking as she was talking that it's possible that the water for beer is clarified or filtered through that.
Charcoal?
Yeah. If that's the case, it could be true.
Maybe.
Probably not. I mean, but the place where we know that animal products are most involved in beer is in clarifying the beer.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, to get all the nasty sediments.
Yeah, there's something called isinglass that is used, that's made from fish bladders, that's used to help the sediment actually settle to the bottom. That is an animal product. Depending on the beer, it may or may not have it. Most German beers do not.
Right.
All German beers, perhaps.
Yeah, so there are vegan beers that do
Right.
not use this isinglass.
That's right.
But there are beers that are not vegan because they use this isinglass in the filtering process.
Right.
Like you said, German beers.
Most German beers are vegan because of the German purity laws, I believe. A lot of American beers are vegan.
Yeah, a lot of the big companies actually just
Yeah.
don't use that stuff.
A
Like
lot.
Budweiser and Miller and all those
Yeah,
paps.
most of the bad beer is
Yeah.
is actually vegan. Some of the microbrewers are vegan. You have to kind of find out individually. It depends on them.
Yeah.
I've heard various things about various places. Never heard anything, I'm comfortable talking about on the radio. So that's one place where it can work its way in if you're not careful looking for it. And of course, some beers have honey in them, which is not vegan.
Right. And Guinness is not vegan in the U.S.
Right.
By the way.
But it is elsewhere.
It is supposedly in Ireland. It is.
That's what I've heard.
Which is frustrating as hell. But anyway, if you're not sure, the best thing to do is contact the company that makes the beer.
Yeah.
If you want to use a particular brand. And there are also lists on the internets.
They're around. They're not hard to find. We
yeah.
have some in our book, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on our website.
So, and then with wine, often red wines are clarified with egg whites.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of nasty shit that could possibly be in wine.
Yeah, so wine is a little trickier, but there are some big brands of wine that are vegan that are pretty shitty, but they're vegan.
Mm-hmm. Yellowtail comes to mind.
So Yellowtail, you just don't like it.
Because I know, guys. Actually, it's not that bad.
I mean, I think for a day-to-day, it's nothing fancy. It's fine. But there are vegan wines, so you can actually find those, and there are lists of those around as well. So, indeed, there are animal products in these things, but they're easily avoided if you look and are careful.
And beer's a lot easier than wine.
Yeah, I actually think that's true. Red wine in particular is very very tough because there's a lot of stuff in that. Could be stuff in that. So, moving on.
Hey guys, this is Middle Class Joe.
This is Jackson.
This is Redman. And we're here in Fresno, California at the mini meetup. Enjoying some good food, about to start drinking. You guys have anything else to add?
Well, I'm having a great time. I'm really glad to be here, and there's really nothing else I need to add.
And this is probably part one of our voicemail, since we'll be doing a little bit of drinking later, and we might have some further things to say.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll get back to you guys in a bit.
I have a feeling you will.
Bob, Jenna, this is Jackson. I was just testing to see if this was the right number because we were doing it on the computer before, but we lost our internet connection and Joe's passed out in some random bed, and we're gonna go in and molest him and then make him grunt into the phone. So we paused the good voicemail. Anyway, we're gonna call back in a few. Bye. Did I think who this was? I think so. This is Jackson. Bye. I'm such an idiot. I love you guys. Did I mention that? All right, bye.
We love you too, sober or drunk.
Yeah, and they never called back. She said they were going to go back again, but they didn't.
They probably called somebody else's voicemail.
Maybe. I like the pre-drunk and the post-drunk there.
Yeah, you get a comparative.
That was nice. Yeah,
very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Very nice. I want to say also that Redman seemed to have a very good radio voice. I mean, like he had this like kind of poised presence about him.
Yes,
could be very useful for the. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should do your voice talent, man. You should do it. All right, moving on.
Hey, Bob and Jenna, this is Sandy. You guys know me as Jimmy in Texas on the board.
Hey.
I'm just calling since it's my 1 year.
Definitely one of the, always posting on the forums. Good stuff. So here we go.
Vegan anniversary.
Yay!
Just to kind of say hi and hopefully give a little bit of my story out of there. Growing up, I was not much of a meat person. I was very picky, to say the least. I'm not sure exactly how I grew up, as pretty much junk and icky stuff was my diet. Vegetables was out of the question, unless it was accidentally in food. But anyway, growing up, eating whatever I pretty much felt like eating, I decided, I guess about 5 years or so ago, to go vegetarian. I did that for a while. I came here to Texas. The people that I stayed with, they didn't know, so I went back to Omni. And then actually about a little bit more than a year ago, talking to another forum, that's when I decided to make the step to go vegan.
Yay.
And I don't know if I would be able to do it without you guys and the forums and just everybody out there, just the education and the support and everything. So I thank you guys for that. And, of course, all the freakies out there. And I'm excited to be able to meet some of them.
Cool.
They're not in Texas next week at the AR 2007 conference. And we get a lot of good information and hopefully share with you guys and maybe with one of the upcoming podcasts kind of
good stuff.
Cover some of that stuff that we learned there. Well, have a good day. And, of course, my lovely kids, Mole and Michi and Emmy, and I hope you guys have a blessed week, and I will see you guys in the forums. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
So good to hear from you.
Yeah, awesome. You remembered everybody's name.
Yeah, I know.
That's great.
Excellent. So thank you very much for calling. It's excellent to hear from you, and it's like you know someone virtually for so long. You finally hear their voice. It's nice to kind of attach a voice and a personality to all that.
And happy vegan anniversary.
Absolutely. And I hope to actually, meet someday in person with these. I've met some of these people, but I'd like to meet all of them someday. Sure. So, ay. I'm hungry.
Me too, and it's starting to thunder again.
Oh, well, at least we got the show done.
This is true.
So, anyway, thank you very much again for listening. This is Vegan Freak Radio number 76. You can find out more about our show at veganfreakradio.com. You can email us at show@veganfreakradio.com. You can leave us voicemail at 267-295-1944 after dialing the appropriate country codes from wherever you live. What else? You can go to our website at veganfreakradio.com and leave us audio comments using the little applet on the side.
And we do have some more voicemails that we received in the past week, but we couldn't get them on the show because we already had so many. But we will get to many of them. We can't get to all of them, so be patient.
And we like when the voicemails are like 2 minutes-ish or less.
Yep, they're easy to respond to, so
So 2 minutes-ish is great. That's what we like a lot or less. So anyway, thank you for listening and for all of your support and everything else. And we'll be back again some point next week with more Vegan Freak Radio. Until then, stay vegan and stay freaky.
Bye.
Myopia is hilarious. What if you want a vegan You're working hard to put food on your family.